Good morning, folks. My name is Hitzemann, County Court Judge here in Hernando County. You folks are here for your first appearance. Purpose of the first appearance is so that you may be informed of the charges against you. I'll determine if there's probable cause for those charges. Probable cause simply means that it's more likely than not that a crime has been committed, and more likely than not that you're the person who has committed that crime. As you stand before me today, however, I presume that you're innocent of these allegations. That presumption of innocence will stay with you through every stage of the proceedings unless and until the State Attorney's Office is able to prove the allegations against you beyond and to the exclusion of a reasonable doubt. We'll set your conditions of pretrial release this morning. That is your bail or bond. In most cases, you've had a bond set already pursuant to the bond schedule here in the 5th Judicial Circuit of the warrant which led to your arrest. I'll determine if that bond should be raised or lowered or left the same, or whether there'll be additional conditions of pretrial release placed upon you. We'll let you know when your next court date will be. If you'd like to have the services of the public defender, I'll gladly appoint the PD to represent you this morning. You do have a right to have contact with folks on the outside, family, friends, counsel. If you haven't had a chance to make that call, please let me know. We'll make sure that that happens. Finally, and most importantly, you're advised that you do have an absolute right to remain silent with regard to the facts which surround your arrest. I encourage you to do that. These proceedings are recorded. In addition, there is an assistant state attorney in the courtroom with me. If you say something that tends to incriminate you, they will use it against you in the prosecution down the road. And I need each and every one of you there at the jail to please raise your right hands and be sworn. You all solemnly swear affirm, tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth? Outstanding. When you hear your name called, please come forward to the podium. Matt, who you got?
Judge, I have Todd Redmond.
Todd Redmond. Hang on one second. Mr. Redmond, what's your date of birth?
December 7th, 1986.
Mr. Redmond, you're here on a warrant signed by Judge Toner. Apparently you failed to appear in his court on a charge of grand theft motor vehicle. Mr. Peeler, what do you want to tell me?
Judge, Mr. Redmond was set for trial this week. Didn't make it on time to court. I talked to Ms. Giannini, who's the prosecutor on it. Judge, the plan is, if you had no objection, to moving him to Monday to Judge Toner's docket, and then we'll deal with him there. Obviously, the no bond's going to stay.
Right. So you want to go 10-8? Is that what Monday is?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so leave the bond at no bond. I'll move the case to October 8th in front of Judge Toner. Very good?
All right, Todd, we'll see you Monday.
Thank you, man.
Yep.
All right, thank you, Judge.
You bet. Brianna Francolino. Want to miss what you did at birth?
1291.
All right, you're here on a warrant signed by Judge Toner. You found probable cause for a violation of probation. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD. Bond on that warrant is no bond. I can't change it. We'll change the date to the 26th of October. Looks like you already have things around for the 26th. And the public defender will come see you before that, okay?
Will that be in front of Merritt or Toner?
That's Toner.
Okay, thank you, sir.
You bet. Kathleen Jordan. Ms. Jordan, what's your date of birth?
6/1978.
Ms. Jordan, you're here on a warrant signed by Judge Toner. In your case, he also found probable cause for a violation of probation. As to that charge, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel, or would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD. Bond on that warrant is no bond. I can't change that. I'm going to change the date to the 26th of October. Public defender will come see you before that, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. Melissa Lloyd. Miss Lloyd, what's your date of birth?
9/10/70.
Miss Lloyd, you're here on a warrant that was signed by Judge Heinemann. He found probable cause for 4 charges: resisting with violence, battery on a law enforcement officer, fleeing to elude, and driving on a suspended license. As to those charges, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
As of right now, public defender.
I'll appoint the public defender as of right now. State, what can you tell me?
She has possession of controlled substance, 2008, driving on suspended license, 2008, driving on suspended license, 2016, grand theft from dwelling, 2018, hiring a vehicle with intent to defraud, 2017, false info to pawnbroker, 2018. I apologize. January 17th of 2018, looks like she got 24 months of probation. Is that here on the other? Pass over.
Melissa, you're currently on felony probation, is that right?
Actually, I just signed for 15 months DOC
Okay.
in Pasco County.
Oh, okay, good. I mean, that's not good, but that lets me know what to do. Okay, so now on these, I'll leave the bonds per the warrant, which is $7,500, $5,000, $5,000, and $2,500. That's a total of $20,000. We'll get you back in court on the 30th of October so that you can get this stuff resolved so that you can get going to take care of your issues, okay?
All right, thank
All
you,
right,
sir.
thank you. Janine Riggio. Want to miss what your date of birth?
12/31/81.
You're here on a warrant signed by Judge Toner. He found probable cause for violation of probation. As for that charge, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
I changed private counsel yesterday before I turned myself in.
Okay, who's your lawyer?
Jim Mancuso.
Okay. Does Mr. Mancuso know where you are this morning?
He does. I spoke with him before I turned myself in.
Okay,
He
very
spoke
good.
with someone in the court.
Very good. So I'll leave the bond for the warrant, which is no bond. We'll have you back in court on the 26th of October. Make sure you give Mr. Mancuso a call, all right?
I haven't been able to. They haven't been able to call anybody.
Okay. Well, they'll let you make a call to your lawyer, obviously.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. Lisa Saucedo. Want to miss what's your date of birth?
7/24/84.
All right. Looks like I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, I have 5 warrants, all signed by Judge Toner. In each case, he found probable cause for a VOP, violation of probation. As to those cases, Lisa, you want to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender, please.
I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Bond on those warrants, of course, is no bond. I can't change those. I'm going to change your date to the 26th of October. You'll be back in front of Judge Toner. Public defender will come visit with you at the jail before you go to court, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ladies, no talking.
Linda Stanley. Want Miss Stanley, date of birth?
11/18/1970.
Stanley, first thing I have is driving on a suspended license, and then looks like we have a probable cause arrest for a violation of probation. Looks like you're on probation out of Pasco County. Does that sound right?
Yes, sir.
That's something else.
Fernando,
Is she on misdemeanor probation here?
yes.
Okay. All right. So, Linda, as to the new charge, the felony driving on a suspended license, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD. On that one, I'm going to leave the bond per the schedule, which is the $5,000. That's coming back on October 30th, and the public defender will come see you before then. On the arrest for the Pasco VOP, the bond is going to be no bond. Yep. So how this will work, Linda, is if you had the ability to post the bond on your local charge, then they would send you to Pasco to start dealing with the VOP. If you can't post the bond on your local charge, then you'll stay here till that case gets resolved, and then they'll send you to Pasco County, all right?
All right.
All right, so the PD will come see you before the 30th, okay?
All right.
Thank you. Janelle Nelson? Why don't you know what's your date of birth? Okay. I have for you out of Pasco. I heard it. I got a warrant for you out of Pasco County. The judge that issued the warrant found probable cause for a violation of probation and set your bond at $500. I can't change that bond, Janelle. If you're able to post it, you can get out, go down to Newport Richie, find out when they want you in court. If you can't post the $500, I'll give Pasco 5 days to come get you. Does not take 5 days with Pasco, but if for some strange reason you're still here in 5 days, they'll bring you back to see me and I'll find out what the problem is, okay? Thank you.
Ladies, this way.
Richard Applestone?
Yes,
Morning, Richard. What's your date of birth?
11/1953.
Richard charges lewd and lascivious molestation on a victim less than 12. There's probable cause for the charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD, state.
Judge, he has a prior, it looks like it was a sexual battery, but it was reduced to a felony battery resulting in great harm in 2006. And then I don't see anything else. You might have an out-of-state stuff, but it doesn't show what it is.
Okay. And Richard, I have an address for you on Broad Street in Missouritown. Is that where you live?
Yes.
How long have you lived
Yes, sir.
there?
It's only a couple of months.
Okay. Do you have a job these days?
No, disability.
Okay. I set your bond at $75,000. Condition of the bond is that you have no contact with the alleged victim. You also will have no contact with any human being under the age of 18. You also will be subject to GPS monitoring at your expense were you to bond out. And you'll be back in court on the 30th of October. If you get out, you should contact the PD. Otherwise, I'll come see you at the jail, okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. Justin Clement. Want to start with your date of birth?
10/26/87.
Justin, you're here on a warrant signed by Judge Merritt. He found probable cause for a violation of probation. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire a private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD. Bond on that warrant is no bond. I can't change that. I'll send you back to see Judge Merritt on October 30th. Public defender will come see you before then, okay? Thank you. Luis Cruz Medina. Want to start with your date of birth?
10/26/76.
All right. First issue I have is uttering a forged instrument. There's probable cause for that, and then it appears that you are currently on felony probation out of Hillsborough County. Is that right?
Yes.
And so I have a probable cause arrest for violation of probation. As to the local charge, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender.
I'm going to appoint the public defender. I'm going to leave the bond on that per the schedule, which is $2,000. That case will be back in court on the 30th of October. As far as the Hillsborough VOP is concerned, the bond is going to be no bond. So how it works for you, sir, is that if you're able to post a bond on the local charge, then Hillsborough County will come get you so you can start working on the VOP. If you can't post a bond on your local charge, you'll stay here until it gets resolved, and then you'll go to Hillsborough County to resolve the VOP, okay?
Okay.
Thank you. Sean Dolan?
Morning, Your Honor.
Morning, Mr. Dolan. What's your date of birth?
3386.
Mr. Dolan, you're here on a warrant that was signed by Judge Rupi. She found probable cause for one count of battery is a second or subsequent offense being domestic in nature. As to that charge, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD, State.
He has a domestic battery from 2007, driving on suspended license 2008, another battery from 2010, possession of cannabis 2011, possession of cocaine 2011, possession of controlled substance 2011, possession of drug paraphernalia 2011, battery second or subsequent 2012.
All right. And sir, I have an address for you on Franconia Avenue in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir. It's my mother's house. I just got signed to executive estate to take over, and so I'm in the process of doing.
Okay. I'll set your bond at $5,000. Condition of the bond is that you have no contact with Holly Zito. No contact means no contact of any kind. You don't call, you don't write, you don't email, you don't text message, you don't contact her through any social media. Don't have a third person contact her. Don't go where she lives. Don't go where she works. You don't have any contact of any kind. Any way that you might imagine contacting her, I forbid you to do that. If you have contact and we find out about it, your bond will be revoked and you'll be held without a bond until the charge is resolved. It means no contact even if she wants the contact. So if you answer your phone and hear her voice, you should hang up. If you're out and about and see her, you should turn around and run the other way. You need to understand that she cannot drop the charges against you. That's not a decision she'll be allowed to make. She may go to the state attorney's office and ask them to drop the charges. She may tell them she's not interested in pursuing this matter, but that decision belongs solely to the assistant state attorney handling your case. So unless that person or the judge on your case tells you the charges are dropped, you should assume they are not dropped and you should not have contact. And I have you back in court on the 30th of October. If you get out, you should contact the public defender's office right away, okay?
Thank you, sir.
Fernando Dominguez? Morning, sir. What's your date of birth?
7/31/79.
Fernando, the charge this morning is felony domestic battery by strangulation. There's probable cause for the charge. As to that charge, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD, State.
Judge, it looks like he has a lengthy history of burglary from 1997, another burglary 1997, another burglary, two more burglaries 1997, petty theft from 97, possession of a controlled substance from 97, another burglary from 98, petty theft 97, obtaining worthless check by fraud 2002, worthless check 2002, petty theft 2002, petty theft 2003, false name to law enforcement officer 2003, driving on suspended license 2003, felony petty theft 2004, possession of cocaine 2004, fraudulent use of personal information 2004, dealing in stolen property 2004, burglary conveyance 2009, grand theft 2012, grand theft 2008, battery domestic violence 2012.
Can I say something?
In a second. I have an address for you, sir, on Mascaro Road in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
Yes.
How long have you lived there?
Just for 2 months.
All right. And does Miss
Just
McEwen
for
live? Does Miss McEwen live there as well?
Yes.
Do you have a job these days?
Self-employed.
What do you do?
I paint cars.
Okay. You may certainly say something if you wish. I will tell you that you also have an absolute constitutional right to remain silent with regard to the facts that surround your arrest, which I already said. If you say anything about what happened last night, it's possible you'll say something that's not helpful. State Attorney.
All right, I will. I just want to say that the victim has a history of mental health issues. She has a history of being Baker active 3 or 4 different times. And she has a history of filing false police reports, one against me 6 or 7 months ago in Hillsborough County. And she came to court the next morning and told the judge she lied to the police, and they let me out.
Okay, that's awesome. Thanks.
That's all.
So I'll set the bond at $5,000. Condition of the bond is that you'll have no contact with Miss McEwen. Did you hear me explain no contact a moment ago?
I did.
Do you understand it?
I do.
Also going to hold you up until 4 p.m. so that if she wanted to serve you with a civil injunction for protection against domestic violence, we'd know where to find you. If you get the civil injunction, it's doubly important that you not have contact, because in that case, not only could you get your bond revoked here, but you could get new charges for violating the injunction. As far as the address on Mascaro goes, if she stays there, you'll have to find someplace else to stay until we get this case resolved. You can go by one time to collect your things, your clothes, your toothbrush, whatever you need, wherever you plan to go. To do that, however, you must contact the sheriff's office first. They'll meet you there with a deputy who will stand by while you get your things and get going where you're going. I'll have you back in court on the 30th of October. Very important that you contact the public defender's office if you get out, all right?
Okay.
Thank you. Cameron Frost.
Good morning, sir.
Morning, Mr. Frost. What's your date of birth?
2872.
All right. And you have a DOC hold, Cameron?
Yes, sir, I do.
Okay. Well, this is an FDA out of Pasco County. The bond on it is $5,013. Obviously, you can't post that, so we'll let Pasco know right away to come get you. They have 5 days, but I'm sure you'll be gone today or tomorrow, all right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Ezekiel Grant. Morning, sir. What's your date of birth?
12/28/1990.
Ezekiel, you're here on a warrant signed by Judge Merritt. He found probable cause for a battery being domestic in nature. As to that charge, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the public defender, State.
Judge, he has one prior disorderly conduct from 2012.
Okay. Ezekiel, I have an address for you on Long Lake Circle in Lakeland. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long have you been there?
Like a month.
All right. You have a job these days?
Yes, sir.
What do you do?
Austin Stucco and Stone Company.
Okay. Let's set your bond at $500. Ezekiel, condition of the bond is that you have no contact with Chelsea. Did you hear me explain no contact a moment ago?
Yes, sir, but may I ask a question?
You sure may.
I was informed that the charges were dropped and that the restraining order was dropped, so it was no contact still.
Right. Apparently that information was wrong, because I'm looking at a warrant signed by a circuit judge. So,
Okay.
and as you've heard me explain earlier, the fact that somebody goes to the state attorney's office and says, I want the charges dropped, doesn't mean they get dropped. Okay?
Okay.
All right, so for right now, they're still going forward. So you understood my warning about no contact, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm going to have you back in court on the 2nd of November. Very important that you contact the public defender's office when you get out, all right?
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Johnny Tyson.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Johnny, what's your date of birth?
2/18/60.
Johnny, you are here on a violation of probation warrant that was signed by Judge McCatherine. So he found probable cause for the VOP. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself? You want to hire private counsel? Would you like the public defender?
The public defender.
I'll appoint the PD.
Judge, they did tell me that he had an offer of 60 days.
It is.
Okay.
Is that, Johnny, how long have you been in jail? Did you just get arrested yesterday?
No, sir. I've been in Pasco County for 70 days,
Oh.
and they transferred me here.
Okay. Can somebody at the jail confirm for me if Johnny was in Pasco for 70 days?
He did come from Pasco. Hang on one second. I'll find it.
Okay. If I have him come back tomorrow, is that something you guys can find out?
Absolutely.
Okay. Johnny, how about, I'll tell you what, I'm going to add one day, and I'm sorry, but I'll have you come back to first appearance tomorrow morning. The Public Defender's Office will confirm that you did the time in Pasco, and I can give you credit time served on this VOP and get you out, all right?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Your
All
Honor.
right. So I'll have you back tomorrow, which is October 5th, for first appearance.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you. You bet. Still no bond. Okay. Jesse Yarborough? Morning, Jesse. What's your date of birth?
12/1982.
Jesse, you're here on a warrant signed by Judge Merritt. He found probable cause for violation of probation. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You're going to hire a private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
PD.
I'll appoint the PD. Bond on the warrant is no bond. I'll have you back in front of Judge Merritt on the 30th of October. They'll come see you before then, okay?
Sorry, thank you.
All right. Jerry, you got anything else for me?
No, sir, that's it.
All right, outstanding. Have a good day.